Hey, this is a reminder that, hey, can you show what's going on down here? And I'll tell you what this is.
Sure. Hold on.
You see, anything could be called an art piece. Let me get down here, okay? What you have here is tape on tape. This is tape on tape. But for all of you youngsters out there, you wouldn't be able to relate since video made the first leap from tape to VHS. So the entire joke is lost for anyone that's under a certain age. But lucky for me, my assistant found it funny. And this is not supposed to be funny. This is an art piece. This is tape on tape.
It's brilliant.
You're not supposed to say that. Because it's not.
It's funny.
It's not. There's nothing funny about tape on tape.
It is hilarious.
Now, let's start.
Okay.
Where's the piece of paper?
All right, let's do it.
All right. Please remember that this is equivalent to a proper legal process.
Correct. So you're going to read this opening statement, just the first part, and you're going to read it for every video that you do.
Okay.
Wait, hold on. Today is March 11th, 2025. This is video season episode.
Video 1432, just so everyone understands.
This is the docket number that you're reading about, the case.
24-22714.
And we are talking about the following motion.
Okay, so I'll read all that. All right, cool. That's
Go
pretty
ahead.
cool. Best assistant in the business. All right, my name is Daniel M. Reeses. Today is March 11, 2025. This is my sworn affidavit regarding case number 24-22714. I am documenting this in real time, as a first-of-kind digital recording for my legal proceedings. This video is part of the Daniels Digital Registry, a transparent record for public, courts, and history.
Correct.
Okay,
All
you
right.
wrote this?
Yes.
This is really good. No, this is like really well done. That's not bad. I can do this. Okay. Core statement.
So wait, what we're doing here today is
Okay.
discussing.
And you're not supposed to laugh. This
Correct.
is a serious process. So
This
keep a
is the
straight face.
motion,
Yeah.
okay, and this is, so.
So which one do you want me to read first?
I think you should discuss the motion first.
Okay. So being that this is the first digital registry ever in the history of the American courts, meaning that this has never been done before, so please bear with me while there's a few adjustments that are made, and primarily it requires the communications from the courts as far as
Correct.
which check boxes we did not fulfill while doing this.
Correct.
Really, in our opinion, we are doing everything by the book, except it is live and it's digital
Correct.
versus analog and can be shredded, manipulated, deleted.
And adjustments can be made.
Adjustments can be made, but
Exactly.
essentially, the core statement is public. And that's the difference between my trial and every other trial that has ever happened.
Correct.
Is that correct?
This statement also reiterates that this is your content, this is your testimony, this is your channel, this is unedited content of you telling your side of.
Okay,
Your story.
what do you want me to do? You want me to
Talk
read
about
the
the
motion?
motion, yep.
Okay, so I'm gonna read it.
Great.
Okay. My preliminary statement is as follows. I, Daniel M. Reeses, pro se, submit this motion seeking relief from an unlawful judgment based on fraudulent forged document that falsely implicated me in $1 million debt. The document in question, forged by Marguerite Reeses, unlawfully bound me to obligations I never undertook. The judgment arising from this forgery is void,
Correct.
ab initio, and cannot be enforced under the law. So let's take a pause
Let's.
from continuation. And Your Honor, this is a matter of me explaining that I don't need to explain to you what ab initio is. You are a judge of the highest order, and as a federal judge, you have over 40 years of legal experience, so you need to explain to me how ab initio is not applicable in
Correct.
this scenario. And Ab initio, Jamie, give me a little break. Why don't you read this out loud?
Ab initio is a Latin term that means, quote, from the beginning, or, quote, from inception. Ab initio is used to indicate that some fact existed from the start of a relevant time period. It is often used as part of the phrase void in ab initio, meaning something such as a marriage was void from the beginning. So this judgment,
Okay, is ab initio.
correct,
And
because it is based on a forged document.
before I read directly from this, I just wanted to say to everyone at home that this chair is available for anyone who wants to sit down and disprove what I have to say. Or even
Absolutely.
if there's someone out there that wants to create their own content that says, hey, this channel by Dan Reeses is fake,
Sure.
he's making it up, I welcome this. Because at no time have I ever lied, I have made some mistakes, but essentially, if anyone understands how difficult my job is and wants to have a really good laugh, check out episode 4 of season 23. And I haven't seen it yet, but
What show?
Family Guy. Oh, good call. Yeah, Family Guy. It just came out 2 days ago, and
It's very good.
you've seen it? Oh my God, this is so messed up. All right, here we go. Now, despite repeated filings and overwhelming evidence, I'm reading from the motion in case anyone doesn't know. Despite repeated filings and overwhelming evidence, including expert reports and admissions by relevant parties, PB Financing continues its improper attempts to collect a fraudulent debt. I now seek immediate judicial intervention to set aside the void judgment and prohibit PB Financing from further collection attempts. Well said.
Yeah.
Okay. Legal basis for relief. 1. The judgment is void ab initio due to forgery. And I know that we wrote things right here, and under Federal Rule of Civil Procedure 60B4, right over here, okay? This is a real rule that exists in the real world that has been completely ignored by human beings who make millions of dollars by fraudulently collecting on debts from individuals that don't have the needs, the necessary means to do what I'm doing right now and find
Correct.
themselves completely drowned.
Yes.
Now, the grounds for relief from a final judgment, order, or proceedings. On motion and just terms, the court may relieve a party or its legal representative from a final judgment, order, or proceeding for the following reasons. And there's a few, but the fourth is the judgment is void. So, for anyone that's not understanding what's going on is, Your Honor must recognize that in order to accept ab initio, the courts must accept that I was a victim of forgery.
Correct.
Which then automatically voids, based on Rule 60, the judgment, but it might need to be via another filing, because the court systems are not only archaic, they are designed to side with legal jargon and not with facts. And that's why we're here, because human beings that live in the United States, believe it or not, have the power to make some significant changes. So in order to change the archaic court systems, one person with his assistant needs to be able to stand up and change the privacy and the secrecy that shrouds corruption.
Okay, yeah.
That's it. So now, under Federal Rule of Civil Procedure 60B4, applicable to bankruptcy proceedings via Bankruptcy Rule 9024, and please remember, we are not attorneys.
Yes.
But as Jeremy Piven's assistant says in Old School, you know, for a bunch of idiots, they're very surprisingly good at doing paperwork. That is the equivalent of what you're seeing right now, is that no problem. You do not want to let me open up a fraternity of my own. I have the means. I mean, like as
You're
he
good
says,
at filling out that paperwork.
I own 3 speaker cities. And what does Vince Vaughn say? I'm worth $2 million that the government knows about.
Yeah.
I'm rolling this kind of red carpet for a student off rock band. Just make sure you can see the stage. Now, those are movies, but inside of those movies are really great analogies, such as what is happening here. Now, you have to watch the whole movie
Correct.
in order to really get it.
Yes,
But
let's stay.
essentially, in order for you to understand this, that we have gone as far as any human beings have ever gone in the pro se realm. And only fraud at the hands of the highest elected officials is able to stop me at this point. Do you understand me?
I do. I
Okay.
understand you.
And appointed, elected and appointed.
Yes.
Not human beings who are compassionate, but human beings who have an obligation to someone that put them in their job. Do you understand?
Yes.
I hope the people at home understand. Now, a judgment must be vacated if it's void. Courts have uniformly held that a judgment, do you know who Walter Sobchak is? I'm not gonna be able to get through this. This is why we had 15 takes, and this is, oh God. See United States versus Thornton 98 U.S. 61 1878, holding that fraud intrinsic to a case renders a judgment void. And in short term, Jamie, you want to explain to everyone at home what that means?
Meaning that the entire basis for his judgment is based on a
Fraud.
a forgery, so the document is void, which makes his entire case against you.
No.
Correct.
Here, the forged document fraudulently imposed a financial liability on me without my, this sounds like a law school class.
It does, right?
You ever seen the show Suits? Consent or knowledge. Harvey Specter, give me a break. Dude commits malpractice every fucking episode. Because a forged document has no legal effect, any judgment arising from it is legally void.
Correct.
And that's why, in case anyone's wondering why.
And a void judgment has no legal weight and can be challenged at any time.
That's right, meaning that there is no precedent, there's no cases where anyone's been legally obligated to be responsible for something that they're a victim of. No one's ever been raped and then thrown to jail for being raped. No one's ever been beaten up and been charged for getting beaten up. They might have been mischarged for what happened, but the actual charge wasn't getting your ass kicked. You understand what I mean?
Yes.
There's no case law that exists, and that's why there's no case law that is referenced in the opposition to my case laws. Because we have thousands of cases, if not millions, where human beings are victims of identity theft and various other causes of action. But if you're Dan Rhesus, you go into a completely separate category of human beings. And that's really why we're here.
That's true. And he wants you.
Which is really creepy. And who she's talking about is the attorney for the others.
We'll get to him. Let's keep going.
Fraud on the courts warrants immediate relief. All right, that's pretty
basic.
I mean, pretty basic. I don't know. Do I have to read? I should read this. The judgment against me was not just obtained through forgery, but also through fraud on the court. As PB Financing knowingly relied on a fraudulent instrument to litigate and obtain judgment. You know, that's really well put. You know, even though I write this with your help, or sometimes you assist me, or I'm not even supposed to go into the facts of the amazing work, the hard work and dedication of the teams of human beings that don't exist that produce this content. I really just wanted to say thank you.
You're welcome.
I really appreciate this. I think that without somebody like yourself who assists me, I don't think I would ever be able to do this. So rather than just speculating on what if scenarios that simply are not plausible, I just want to say that in our timeline right here, Miss Jamie Resnick has given up and sacrificed more than anyone can possibly imagine for the history of the United States to be slightly altered in order to change the future generations' rights and protection.
Thank you.
So
Well said.
this
That's
is on
such a
behalf of anyone
compliment.
that
Thank you.
watches this and understands exactly what you've sacrificed, which is pretty much your entire life, both socially and professionally, in order for this content to happen. And that's
proud
real.
of it.
That's a real sacrifice. I just wanted to say thank you. That's
Thank
all.
you.
Just,
Yeah.
you know, so real quick.
Super proud of it.
All right. So their continued enforcement of this invalid judgment has resulted in substantial financial and reputational harm to me.
And that can't go unsaid enough.
But once, I think that the entire point of what I have learned in the last 5 years is that everything has to be thought about, but only done one step at a time. And that's the
Correct.
real
And
crux
that's
of
what
this
we're
thing.
doing here, is that if
Because when
we
you're
can
talking
remove the judgment.
What you're talking about is, look at all the work that you could be doing instead of dealing with this.
Yes.
Who is to pay for the lost wages and income?
Correct.
Please do not worry about this. The most important thing is just to prove our case, and then you have nothing to worry about. I have plenty of
Let's
things
keep
that
going.
are about to
Wrap up
happen
this
as soon as
motion.
Judge Sherwood. Well, I mean, I don't know if I
You
should.
have to keep going, because this is our motion.
Come on, Jamie, give me a break. This is my first formal one. We've taken 15 takes. I haven't been able to do it right because I keep going off on tangents. It's such a beautiful day. Don't like I should be playing ball with my kids. Like it's so nice. Fine, I will continue this. All right.
You have 5 minutes and 50 seconds, so let's
All right,
finish.
Due process violations justify vacature. The 5th and 14th Amendments guarantee that no person shall be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. My due process rights were violated when 1. I have been deprived of a fair opportunity to contest the forged document. 2. PB Financing knowingly prosecuted a claim on a fraudulent instrument. And 3. The courts have failed to rectify the fraud despite overwhelming evidence. Cool.
Excellent.
All right, now, legal cases, we're gonna go ahead and skip that because I am not only not a lawyer, anyone with access to any artificial intelligence can easily query any plethora of cases to support their position. In this one case, the most important part is the glaring 0 number of cases of human beings that have been held liable or legally responsible when they are a victim of fraud. It has never happened before. So, unless this court wants to make legal history and be the first court ever to make me, Daniel M. Reeses, a legal legend by having a debt that I am a victim of a forgery, be responsible for, I highly recommend we start wrapping this shit up and move on to the next case.
Agreed.
Okay?
Yep.
That's really
So we can wrap it
that's
up.
how that's my testimony.
Okay.
And like the rest of it will be submitted to the judge, and please understand that I'm more than willing to go in front of the judge, discuss this further, but this is redundant. We have ad nauseum.
It is redundant.
Already shown.
However, what I've come to learn is that certain procedure needs to happen.
I don't disagree.
We are disrupting that procedure, but we need to also keep some sort of form.
All right. I get it. Yesterday was my dad's birthday.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, you never met him. He was a really awesome dude, and complicated man. I mean, whose father's not, right?
Yeah.
It would have been his 70th birthday. He passed away when his younger son was born. How much time do I have?
3 minutes and 30 seconds.
Oh man, no waterworks. No, he's. This video I do for him and my boys, and every other dude. No offense, Jamie, but every other dude that has had a lifetime's work completely trampled, and then after I do it for every other dude, I do it for every woman who gets 0 recognition, and then I do it for every human being, because really these videos are about how far can one man go with the support of very small number of human beings. I don't think that it's fair that because you're on camera you get all the credit. I think that there's a few people that really deserve the credit, but essentially this is my channel, and if people don't want to watch it, they don't have to watch it. And it's very, very scary that we live in the type of world where people not only have no control over their actions, they can't publicly admit that they are completely entranced by a human being who speaks the truth in a non-comedic fashion in a world of lies. You see, that episode is supposed to be the reason for why this channel is so unique. Because my invention of anti-social media is really the redux, the medicine that is required for a society that can laugh at themselves at certain public national content while still going and diluting their brains to sit and laugh at a human being who's telling the same jokes.
Right.
There is no originality in stand-up comedy. It doesn't exist. It only exists if you're in an environment such as being around your children and letting them be exposed to the brilliance. But it is a formulaic process that is designed to entrance human beings to forget about reality. And we as a society very much support that content as long as it's controlled. And Louis C.K. is really the best example of a human being that simply crossed the line. And he didn't actually cross the line. The line was only drawn when humanity decided to draw it. And he fell on the wrong side of it.
Yeah.
Whereas I, Daniel M. Reeses, cannot be canceled because I'm outside of the sentient algorithm known as the singularity. Therefore, the things that I say are actually very, very important, but are designed to isolate only the smartest human beings in the world that can actually decipher what I have to say between a fucking pile of billion videos of garbage and the most important, relevant, personal content. It's YouTube. It is not MeTube, okay? My name is Dan Reeses, and I think we've just made history today, but I'm not sure. I'll only know in the future.